person in the family that had to work might go down from 5 days a week to 4 days a week. That's all we have to work. We'd have more time for fun. And it's funny because Silicon Valley now, you have to have 2 people working full-time stressful jobs just to own a home. It wasn't like that then.
But back then you were even thinking about working smarter, and we've heard a lot about that, is working smarter and faster.
Well, no, I decided real early on that maybe it was some influence of parents talking about the importance of school. Education was important. Brain development was going to get you enough money to have a wife, enough money to have a home. And so that was
I got you.
And education. I told my dad in 6th grade that when I grow up, I'm going to be an electrical engineer like you. But second, I'm going to be a 5th grade teacher like Mr. Al, because the importance of teachers was so deep in my heart. That value for education is why eventually I did teach for 8 years of my life. 5th graders and up to 9th grade.
As you said, when you left, this is a corporate world, you did go into teaching because education is so important. Talk to us about the importance of technology and education in the classroom and how we can use that.
Well, because of my overlapping interests, of course, I was a technologist out of high school. I never had to worry about a job. I could design any computer I saw in 2 days in my bedroom. I kind of had it made technically, so I had a great job as an engineer without a college degree. Designing the hottest product of its time, the Hewlett-Packard scientific calculators. What a dream job. But I always cared about education and the application of any products we built to school. Whenever I took psychology courses, I paid attention to how the mind develops in stages, sort of like building up computers, from raw materials up to more complicated parts to combining them and making bigger and bigger things. And it mattered to me. Now, that comes into play a lot more when we started out. We'll all jump way ahead of time. But about then, oh my gosh, I was inspired by the social good that if we had our own computers, we'd be not more powerful as people, but we'd be able to communicate better within 1 hour. Maybe 100 people dialing in with modems could share a message in 1 hour. And that was a big deal to me. And also the kids in school would be told immediately if their homework was right or wrong. You don't want to wait until the next day, 12 hours later, and say the homework was wrong. It doesn't have the impact of, slapping your dog right when it poops. So theoretically, what was said by a Stanford professor at our Homebrew Computer Club was these kids are going to be using 100% of their neurons in the brain instead of just 10%. And I remember sitting there getting very chilled and thinking, in a few years, I won't have a job because all these kids are going to be, the world is based on brains. I remember being scared. So, but education, when we found the site to make a company, this is jumping way ahead of a bunch of steps, and we got permission. Hewlett-Packard turned me down 5 times. But we're going to make, for 2 hours driving back from visiting a woman who would take computers into schools, elementary schools, and show kids how computers worked and how they were marvelous to you and things like that. I admired it so much. I completed with Steve Jobs to give the first Apple I, the very first one, to Liza Lolo. And I pleaded for 2 hours, but he wouldn't do it. So he made me buy it for $300, and I gave it to her because I felt computers should go to good use. That's the important thing. It's not how much money you have.
You continue that. We'll go to Hewlett-Packard because you said that you never imagined, you always were going to be an engineer. That's what you were going to do. And so you brought the personal computer idea to them 5 times, and they denied you. So did you ever imagine that you would leave there and go on to create Apple II?
Well, let's go through 5 times. First of all, I was going to build that computer that year once I discovered a formula that I could afford a full computer with 4K of memory. I told my dad in high school, I am going to own a 4K computer someday because you need 4K to write programs. And he said, it costs as much as a house. And I was stunned, and I said, I'll live in an apartment. I wanted my own computer. I threw down the doctor. And once I saw that formula, I was going to build it. I was going to build it to show off, A, my engineering prowess, which was very unusual, and B, to help other people start the revolution. And I gave away my design for free, the first one. Now, after I'd been doing that, I was kind of a hero of my club, showing off this computer. Don't believe that movie with Ashton Kutcher. What a bunch of crap. So Steve Jobs coming into town and taking me down to a computer club. I was so well known there, and I had the group around me, and I was going to become the Apple I computer. I helped other people build their own and passed out my design for free. So I took Steve to the club, and he saw all the interest in what I had, and then he said, we should build a part, a PC board for $20 and sell it for $40 to help people build your computer. And whoa, this is scary. We should have a company. We've been selling my stuff, the two of us, me and Steve Jobs, have been selling my little occasional designs for 5 years. So this was the end of 5 years. We're just going to formalize it with a company. I was an engineer at heart. I believe engineers were the most pure people in the world. They used mathematics. They figured things out that other people couldn't figure out. They made products that worked or didn't work, and they got judged. And I could be an engineer for the rest of my life at Hewlett Packard, a company infiltrated with engineers from the whole management structure from the top of the company on down, full of engineers, and we were building the products that engineers used, so we were the market. We were close to the market as well. Engineers on the bottom level of the org chart would come up with ideas for the next products at HP. I was going to be an engineer for life at HP. I would never give up my job at HP in those days to start a company. But, so I leader with HP. Here's a great computer you can make. You're making calculators. It's kind of consumer. This computer is going to be fun. It's going to go into home. It's going to let people solve their own problems and write programs and all that. And they turned me down. And then a local store wanted to buy $50,000 worth of computers with all the parts in them. $50,000 was the biggest financial shock of my life to this day. And I said to her, oh my God, it's twice my salary. So I went to Hewlett Packard's legal department, and then they said to every single Hewlett Packard division didn't have an interest in building these little home computers. You know, but like I said, you know, nobody can really tell it's going to be worth money. You know, sometimes, you know, when something's rubber comes along, you don't see it at first. And, you know, so anyway, got turned down by Hewlett Packard. We built a boring machine for engineers. A useful, good, productive machine for engineers, but boring was to get computers in the home. I mean, even the talk at Harvard Computer Club and the sort of people who attended, I was inspired that this computer, among other things, it can't be doing inventory in the home, and it can't be doing daily budgets and salaries and stuff like that. I'm sorry, that's not for the home. It had to be fun, and it had to have games built in. And that was one of the keys. So that fun machine is what Hewlett Packard would have built. But that was the Hewlett Packard, that's the Hewlett Packard side, but getting there